Alright, hello and welcome. This is 11, episode 4, hidden stream. But thankfully, the live stream is not hidden. Unless Twitch hates me and is hiding my stream, then that would be a little tragic. Noticing this, the sky is actually low-key really gray. So maybe I still go in with this tone, and then we just put a bunch of gray over it. I think that's the tech I'm gonna go with. So we'll see how that pans out. It did not get that little blob. AK is just fully overcast for the clouds. Like another area that I could think of. I was gonna create like all of this. I wonder if that's gonna be problematic. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Because it's like not completely gray, but it is largely gray at the same time. Is the only thing. It is a largely gray background for the sky, that is. So I might have made a mistake using the color I did for the base sky, but we'll have to see what happens. Maybe I should just go in with like this, actually. Let's get a little bit of that going. And then maybe it kind of gets darker actually at the bottom, I think. On the Bob Ross one. Something like that. Damn, actually, hold on, I need to drop this crazy idea. I had a crazy idea actually that just spawned in that I decided to send before it got lost forever. Wait, actually, hold on. I think I'm cooking with this background. Hold on. I think we're getting somewhere. The only thing is, these dark areas are gonna be a little tricky. I should probably do them first. That's probably in my best interest to do them first. Oh man. Okay. You know, the thing about random stuff, huge shoutouts to randomly I think it was my most recent just casual VOD of Hollow Knight that I upload to my YouTube got like way more views than any of the other parts did. I wonder if it's because the thumbnail outright just happened to show, I'm pretty sure it just showed the menu for selecting Pantheon 5, I think. I wonder if that got people like, oh, this guy's doing the crazy thing. YouTube and just social media interactions are very weird. Like how I've had Mario Paint VODs where after, I don't know, like a week, some VODs will be like, oops, this one has like 10 views, and then a week later I upload like the next episode. And it's like, oops, this one got like 100 plus in the same amount of time that the previous one had time. So I don't know. It's really weird. And I don't try to make it look like all enticing or anything by making a custom thumbnail for the Mario Paint stuff. You know I could. I don't know why, I just never bothered to. Something I could do. I've never really felt like it. Low-key. So, I don't know. Not something I've ever decided to do for no particular reason. I do wonder how well it would fare if I started making shorts for the Mario Paint stuff. So I think that's pretty easy content right there. That's pretty easy potential using just Mario Paint, just make like a speed paint. Just speed up an entire painting into like 1 minute. I think if I were to upload it as a short, like it would have to be like at minimum, or like at the most like a minute long, so otherwise people would probably not watch it after that. But maybe, I don't know, who's to say? Who's to say for sure? I don't know. Hard to truly know, I guess, without trying. I've just never really felt like doing it. Maybe it's because I don't actively consume much shorts content myself. Slash, I actively don't care to use TikTok. For better or for worse? Better or for worse, I just do not give a fuck about using TikTok. Probably for better in the long run, that it's good that I don't use that website. There's definitely a timeline where I would have gotten addicted to TikTok. I don't think I ever really would have gotten truly addicted to it, like how some people probably are, but there's definitely a timeline where I probably use TikTok way more than one should, and thankfully I never entered that timeline. I am just big chillin' in my own realm. Not doing that. I don't know, I've said it before, but something that I don't like about a lot, not every shorts content creator, uploader, whatever does this, but I'm really not a fan of the deception a lot of people do for shorts content, being where they start the beginning with like, oh hey, did you know that this thing blah 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 blah, then they say the rest of the video, and then at the end they'll finish it off with, yeah, and that's why I like to go on about, and then like they make it so it loops like pretty seamlessly, probably to just like get like engagement bait, or like, that's not really engagement bait, but like fake extra views, because people probably don't realize that it's looping. I guess like farming extra watch time, probably so the algorithm pushes their stuff more. I'm pretty sure that's a factor, as far as I'm aware, but I could be completely wrong about that too. But I've always just felt that That was just like super weird that people do that. I don't know. I don't like it. Thankfully, the like few YouTube Shorts stuff that I do watch, my goat Japan Eat does not do that. Thankfully. That's my goat YouTube Shorts creator. I wonder how that became like the meta. I mean, maybe, I'm sure someone just realized at some point, it's like, oh, hey, these shorts videos, when you watch on your phone, they like auto loop. They auto repeat themselves. So I'm sure someone probably caught on and was like, oh, I could use this to deceive people into thinking it's longer. Now, it's such a weird like trend. Because I guess that wouldn't really work as well for just regular YouTube, like normal length video uploads, because they don't auto loop, thankfully. Thankfully they do not do that. Yeah, it's definite. I need to tone back some of this dark tones from the black values, because I don't want it to be completely black up here. Even though, yeah, okay. I am getting baited partially by myself. Well, rather by how it looks on the TV versus how it looks on the capture card. Because on the capture card, this black value is much more gray, but on my TV, it is way super like black looking in comparison. So I have to actually keep that in mind. So I could actually probably just keep it how it is if I really wanted to. Maybe I do this actually. Oh, that's too bright. Never mind. We could actually just try and like fade it back. This might be a rare instance of using my capture card for reference instead of just looking at the TV. It's like one thing, like when I've like for calibrating how my capture card looks in OBS, I've definitely tried my best to like keep it pretty accurate to how it looks on my TV. I think I do that because like for like these older games, like they're definitely meant to be viewed on this type of TV, so they just kind of look best normally when they're viewed on a CRT TV. So that's probably why I have that mindset of like, oh, I should probably make my capture card try and replicate that as best as I can, even though it's kind of impossible to truly replicate that effect. I don't know. I'm sure some people are probably like, no, I want it to be perfectly sharp and everything. Which is definitely a balance of like, you don't want it to be too sharp, because then at some point when it's too sharp, it just ends up looking off. For at least this sort of stuff. But then you also don't want it to be too blurry, where stuff just like is hard to see, since you don't get that OP CRT blending. I wonder if anyone's ever made like a CRT blending like filter effect for OBS. One that isn't just like, oh, it puts a bunch of lines over it, like, but like actually does like a pretty accurate effect. I definitely know that's like a whole thing for emulators, where it's like, oh, this emulator has a really bad CRT effect. This one has a really good one. I'm definitely not like a huge snob for that sort of stuff. I respect the people who really try to get all that accurate. Not a realm that I am super knowledgeable of, though. Not for me personally. This is good. Is this good for the clouds? Because like over here, this is just like a big gray blob. I don't know what Bob Ross actually put down here, but for the purpose of this painting and not needing to worry about what he actually put here, I think just it being largely a gray blob is perfectly fine, because that's just kind of the effect that he went for. I can stop looking at my OBS. All right, let's get the trees going. It's the background trees. Well, I probably don't want to use that green, but I don't want to use that green either. Unless, do I want to use this darker green? Maybe I do. I don't know. Deciding. Yeah, maybe we... I'm like always afraid of using the eraser tool in case if I somehow, like a complete idiot, hit one of the delete the entire canvas buttons. Even though I don't think it ever defaults to that, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it ever defaults to that button, but I'm always like afraid of it doing that. So I'm always wary of when I pick the eraser tool. Because even though technically speaking, if the white that you put down, you can see it easier on the capture card, but the white you put down is not the same as the blank canvas on Mario Paint. Which doesn't really matter since I end up covering up everything anyways, so it actually doesn't really matter. But just a little thing. Yo, Alana. Not through Discord, but hello through Twitch chat. Are we work-ja today, or are we chilling at home today? Am I crazy? This is a brown. Is it always had brown? I didn't notice that. Huh, and it does. Today I learned. Pretend to be busy at work right now because I don't have much to do at the moment. Dude, that is a classic. That is an absolute classic. Just pretending to be busy. It's crazy how some jobs, like, as long as you get your work done, like, they do not give a fuck what you do during the day. Or, like, what you do. Because I know some people are out here at their jobs just like, yep, I'm on Twitch all day because I finish everything really quickly or whatever. But then it's whack of like other jobs, like randomly it'll be like, oh, what's that? You're not working for literally 3 seconds? Okay, here's start sweeping the floor that's already cleaned that you just cleaned 10 minutes prior that has not been contaminated since you cleaned it. I don't know, the toxic workplace culture of like, oh, you gotta be slaving away if you're working here or whatever. It's like, why? Are we not allowed to just like relax for a sec? But at least in my experience, I've definitely had it where, oops, but it's okay for the manager to go sit in the office and do nothing. That's okay. That's perfectly fine for them to sit down on their ass and do nothing, but for us doing all the hard work, nope. Better not catch you on your phone for 3 seconds. Yeah, we like getting treated fairly. Love that. Yeah, I'm still kind of caught off guard by it because my last job used to be like, if you got time to... Yeah, I hate that. That saying is so toxic. You got time to lean, you got time to lean. You got time to lean, you got time to clean. But it doesn't apply to the manager, apparently. Only applies to the workers. Meanwhile, the Giga Chad store owner / manager dude at Quiznos, like, if we finish like the lunch rush or whatever, and they're, you know, everything was clean or whatever, like there was nothing to do, like, because like the shifts I would work there, they would be like just part-time stuff, like 3 to 4 hours, so not very long usually. And like he would outright just tell me like, oh yeah, you can do the phone thing. Like he would say like that, oh, like do the phone for like 5 minutes, because he was a Korean, so English wasn't his first language, so that, like, so I'm like, oh, that's why he would say it in that particular way. You know, obviously I knew what he meant, but I don't know, just kind of hype the difference. That guy was way more chill. This job, my boss is like, hey, work on this thing. No deadline, but please do work on it. Feels good. Yeah, as long as they're not out here like, oh, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. You know, I remember this one time at McDonald's when I was there. I do not remember a single time ever being taught what FIFO, F-I-F-O stood for, but I just remember like one time, like they just brought me back into like the office area to like, I don't know if they were just testing people or whatever for some reason, but they were like, oh yeah, what does FIFO stand for? And I was like, in the moment, I was like, I literally have never heard this before. And then I was like, based on like assumption and an educated guess, I was like, oh, it probably just stands for first in, first out, because, and yep, that's what it stands for. So it's like, I knew what that I knew what that meant. Like, I already knew that concept, but I just never heard of like that specific acronym prior. I need to do more trees. Kind of soft ones. These ones can be just like super light. Do quality checks for her to keep up with compliance or whatever. I guess it's good to make sure, like, you know, your staff knows what they're doing. Definitely a good thing to make sure your people who are working for you like know what's going on and what's up and all that. I would say being the person they pulled aside to quiz. I feel like they didn't do it too often to me. Like, I can only like specifically think of like that one time. Maybe because I knew I actually did shit there at that place, unlike some people. Unlike some people. It's forever just like such a drastic like vibe shift going from working at McDonald's and Quiznos, which was just ran by the owner and his wife. It was like, damn, they are big chillin' at this Quiznos, like, relatively speaking. Like, it's way more vibes. Hell, I remember Vince was telling us that he worked at Tim Hortons apparently for like 2 or 3 months, and I don't know if he just quit because it sucked or if they let him go. I don't know specifically what. I think based on the vibe, I think I got the impression that he just like left. So I remember he was just saying like that they like Giga like only cared about like keeping their time super low for like getting food out. And drinks. I guess drinks, well, I assume drinks are still the primary thing at Tim Hortons. He's at Starbucks now, and I guess they don't care as well. I'm sure they probably care about, like, you know, being, like, quick, but they're probably not, like, that's, like, the only thing they care about. It's like, damn. Proceeding to not hear good things ever about Tim Hortons for the millionth year in a row. That place is, I don't know, kind of tragic. So I remember, like, it was, like, similar-ish in ways at McDonald's, because they had, like, the screen where it's like, oh, here's all the upcoming orders, and it has, like, a timer for, like, each individual order. And so it's like, oh, you want to try and keep your average down. But, like, literally, you could just cheese the system by, like, being like, oh, like, this order is just, like, a 10-piece nugget or just a regular hamburger or something. Like, something you could, like that was, like, a short order that's like, oh, even, like, before it was done, you could just hit the button to clear it. Just so, like, the screen said, yep, your times were low. Like, okay. Like, alright, dude. I should have put the water down first, actually, before I started doing this, but here I am. I always seem to hear that Timmy's has gone to shit. I remember Prax saying that supposedly the coffee bean provider or whatever for Tim Hortons apparently at some point got bought by McDonald's. So I guess McDonald's coffee is now what Tim Hortons coffee used to be, supposedly. Which is interesting. Because I remember, like, growing up, my dad was a Tim Hortons coffee stan. But now he does not like Tim Hortons coffee, and he's a McDonald's coffee stan. Which is interesting. But yeah, it's... I don't know. I know Prac knows more about that than I do. I'm not... I mean, like, I didn't, like, extensively really go to Tim Hortons ever. I mean, I'm sure, like, yeah, like if you get, like a box of Timbits, like, they're probably still good. But through this service that we actually haven't used in a long time, called Too Good To Go, where it's basically this app, well, y'all probably heard me talk about it before, but for anyone who doesn't know, it's this app where any participating just restaurant or business, like cafe or whatever, they can put produce or whatever items on there that they would throw out, and you could, like, buy it for cheaper, like at a super discounted rate. And so, like, I think the first few times Skittle ever had Tim Hortons was through Too Good To Go. And at Tim Hortons, they had, like, a section that was, like, I guess dedicated for Too Good To Go. Like, when we walked in, like, they had, like, a separate, like, container that had stuff for it. Maybe, like, day-old stuff that they like, would throw out the next day, but are using for Too Good To Go instead. But I just remember, like, even through that, Skittle was just, like, never impressed by anything. Because, like, on the contrary, like, for devil's advocate, for something that was good through there, there's, like, this pretty expensive, like, health-oriented grocery store that's also on Too Good To Go, and we've gotten, like, some, like, pastries and such from them in the past, and even though they're not, like, super perfectly fresh and all that, like, they're still, like, good. Like, I feel like if it was good, like, a good product fresh, then even if it's like a little stale, it's probably still gonna be good. Like, I don't think it's gonna become bad all of a sudden. I think Skittle just kind of didn't really like anything that they got from the Tim Hortons Too Good To Go boxes. Tragically. It's crazy little buying out their competition supplier. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Wild timeline. I do know also for Tim Hortons, they used to like bake their like muffins and everything like fresh in the store, and then at some point in time it just got swapped out for frozen everything. Because that's probably way faster and way cheaper, and they don't have to pay someone as much. I assume. Like, they don't have to... I assume they had to have someone before, like, you know, just be dedicated to baking stuff, and that would be the only thing they would do, but... Now I imagine it's just kind of more so of, like, oops, just whoever can just go in and just do it. Which I remember, like, at McDonald's, like, a similar thing allegedly happened, according to one of my coworkers who had been there for a long time. I remember she was like, oh yeah, I remember we used to, like, actually have to, like, make the batter for the muffins and such. Which, like, I guess, like, I don't know, as much as I do not like McDonald's, I guess you could at least give them, like, like, they're not, well, at least they're, I feel like initially they weren't thought of as, like, a place you would go to for, like, good quality, like, pastries and such. Like, I feel like Tim Hortons, like, that's a place you would think of as, like, yep, that's, like, a coffee and donuts sort of place first. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I do not go to any places like that. Like, I just do not go to those places in the modern day. Like, it's been a long ass time since I have like actively gone to McDonald's or Tim Hortons or any fast food burger place like that. This is the one that has brown in it, right? It's hard to tell on the TV. A touch. That's why the coffee shop I used to work got rid of their baking position and switched to getting everything pre-made offsite and freezing it. Then we reheat it, which I could say greatly reduced the quality of the food. That's like so sad for like just a dedicated coffee shop. Cause like, at least my understanding was like I don't think that place was like some huge corporation like that wasn't trying to be like that place was more like a dedicated coffee shop, unlike Tim Hortons, which I feel like now is kind of trying to be more like, oh, we do lunches and we do all these like meals now. Oh, we have, yep, protein coffee. I mean, I guess a coffee shop could do lunches and such, but it's like, I feel like Tim Hortons used to be just more like, yep, they do coffees and pastries and donuts, and then it started to be like, oh, now we do wraps, and I've seen they do pizzas and blah 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 blah. Anything you could think of, they do. But also, I imagine your old coffee store was probably a lot more of like a lower scale thing as well, and not. I'm trying to be like, oh, yep, we're Tim Hortons. You have to you gotta get your coffees out in like 20 seconds, otherwise you're shit at your job. I wonder if that place, if your old place, also raised the prices after they switched to frozen. If it's a classic, we made our stuff worse and we raised the prices to make it more expensive, because that makes sense. 9% coffee, but had some food because why not? Which I guess, you know, it makes sense. You know, like I get it. I get it for sure. Yeah, like I have outright seen like ads for Tim Hortons having like protein coffee. I am very certain I've seen ads for that. And I'm like, what? Protein coffee? Let me see if I look that up real quick. Tim Hortons protein coffee. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Protein iced latte. New protein lattes made with lactose-free, high-protein dairy beverage. Damn, they can't even call it milk. It's like how a lot of ice creams in grocery stores are technically not actually ice cream because it doesn't have any cream in it. So they have to call it like, they'll call it like frozen dairy dessert or something like that. What does this say? Protein latte with sugar-free vanilla syrup. Protein iced latte with sugar-free vanilla syrup. Okay, same thing, basically. Protein coffee is the new trend. All the chains are getting it. I wonder how many protein coffees Vince makes at Starbucks every day. So like, the thing is, like, a lot of these protein stuff, when it's like, oh, this is our protein, insert anything here. A lot of the times, getting a Chipotle ad, oh shit. Anyone else getting a Chipotle ad right now? It's always interesting with like, no, not that. We need to use this one actually, I think. It's always interesting with like regional like ads. Just like the differences in like what you get shown for an ad in one area versus another. So it's just interesting. Like, oh, that's really different than what I get. You know, obviously when you say it like that, it makes perfect sense, but I think it's still interesting. When you see an ad, I feel like you're just used to thinking like, yep, that's just the ad I get. But you wouldn't actively think usually like, oh, what about ad someone else would get, like in a different country or wherever. Alright, allegedly ad break is over, supposedly. But I am not the ad overseer. I am just the person who is here playing the game. Yeah, but I was gonna say though, I'll come back from the ads, is that I feel like a lot of the times whenever any company is like, we're making this protein thing that isn't normally protein, usually it ends up being, okay, it has like 10 grams of protein, but it also has like 30 grams of sugar or something like that. Like it'll just have like a fuck ton of sugar in it. It's up there with when companies would be like, this is our low fat X insert whatever product here, but then oops, instead of fat it has a fuck ton of sugar added to it. Because why not? Why the hell not put a shit ton of sugar in it? Okay, I do not want that tone. Let's go back. Let's redact that. $40-minute mark. Damn, I thought I was kind of schmoovin' with this painting. I thought I was kind of going fast, actually. I think I was kind of going fast at the start, and then, I don't know. Yeah, that's the tragic part. You put a shit ton of sugar in it, and then it's like, oops, this tastes really good. Oopsie. And I feel like also a lot of protein stuff will be like, okay, here's a box of protein bars. Okay, that's $15, and you get 4 protein bars in it. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Because I know Justin, he showed me these like protein waffles that he saw, that he started trying recently, and I was surprised when you showed me the packaging. I was like, oh, it has 10 waffles in it. I feel like most of the time when you see something like this, it'd be like, okay, you get like 5. You get 5 waffles in this box. But I was like, damn, it's got like 10. That's surprising, honestly. One of the biggest like healthy scam products out there is Nutella. Just being loaded the hell up with sugar. But I haven't tried it yet because cocoa powder is giga expensive because I guess there's like a shortage of cocoa powder. Like literally on Amazon there's this brand, U-Pick, I think they're Canadian. But they're like the go-to for getting like just like chia seeds and nuts and blah 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 blah, just a bunch of like singular like simple things like that. And like I remember you could get a kilogram of cocoa powder, like unsweetened, just raw cocoa powder from them. You could get it for $12. And now it's like $24. I was like, what the fuck? I literally bought one like earlier this year or like sometime late last year for $12. And then yeah, I only recently found out that I guess there's a cocoa powder shortage. So I guess that's why it's so goddamn expensive. But yeah, the reason why I brought that up is because I remember seeing this recipe for this like healthy Nutella recipe, which if I remember correctly, it was literally just you get chickpeas, dates, and cocoa powder. And then you just like put it in a blender or a food processor, I guess. Whichever you prefer or have. And then it just makes it into this like a spread. That's supposed to be just like actually better for you Nutella alternative that allegedly tastes good. I'm like, well, chickpeas are really good. And dates are a good way to add like sweetness to something without it just being like raw sugar. And then, I mean, cocoa powder on its own is pretty good, right? So I'm like, that could be pretty nice. But yeah, the whole cocoa powder being turbo expensive has made me not try that yet, tragically. Yeah, I always remember with Nutella growing up, seeing like ads on TV for it, and it would be like, I vividly remember like an ad for Nutella growing up where it would be like this girl like in gym class and she was climbing the rope, which I wonder if like any gym class actually makes them do that in like elementary schools. Yeah, but it was always like, yeah, get a healthy start to your day. I mean, it's the same thing with cereal. How cereal's like marketed as like the healthy start to your day, but then like 99% of cereals are like giga sugar loaded because, yep. But most people don't pay attention or know that, or maybe don't care, or like aren't educated to know why that's not very good. Trying to compete with peanut butter? Yeah, probably. Even though tragically also with a lot of peanut butters, on the market. Like they also just have like a bunch of extra just nonsense added to them. But we've been out here on just like the natural peanut butter grind for a long time at this point. Like it's been a really long time since I've had regular peanut butter. Regular, just loaded the hell up with preservatives and whatever else peanut butter. It's been a very long time for me. I don't know, like nutritional stuff is like, it's such like a weird world because like, you know, like you'll hear stuff like, oh well, this thing has so much sodium in it, but then it's also like, oops, you don't want to have too little sodium. And it's like same with sugar. It's like you obviously don't want to have like a fuck ton of like sugar, but it's also like the sugar from like a fruit or something isn't gonna like kill you. I mean, maybe if you're like getting a diabetic or something, then maybe that's different. But I think for your average healthy person, like that's not a problem. There's just so much information out there and misinformation, and then it's like, oh, you don't want too much of this thing or too little of that. I don't know, it's so bizarre. I feel like me and Tucker also are like hyper aware of that shit. We're always checking nutrition labels and such. That is good. And thankfully, like, I don't like eat a whole lot of like pre-packaged things. I think the most like pre-packaged stuff I've even had in recent times is like these tofu things and like seaweed things from the Asian grocery store that we went to. But like the seaweed thing is literally, I think, the seaweed, and then it has like sesame oil. It might have had perilla oil and like just like a couple of seasonings in it. But it's not like it's got like it's not like bloated with garbage. And then the tofu thing, it has some kind of sauce on it that is, I don't know, I don't remember what's all in it, but it has something in it. Like chips, as much as I used to devour chips, I actively do not buy chips ever. And I don't really ever crave chips in the modern day, honestly. Like if I still, I'm sure I feel like I could probably enjoy like chips if I had them, but I still never get chips in the modern day. Cause I know it's like it's so like unhealthy, unfortunately. You know, like ketchup chips used to be my shit, and like good old sour cream and onion. Sun chips. Sun chips were the goat. Those were so good. But they're such a trap. I've gotten sucked in that and become overwhelmed, lol. Yeah. I feel like it's rough with like a lot of like packaged stuff, you know? Oh shit. It's like definitely rough with a lot of packaged stuff in stores. Like hell, even like if you get something like a protein bar, which like is like advertised as like, yep, this is supposed to be good for you. Like even some of them have like a bunch of extra bullshit in them. So it's just like even like the allegedly healthy prepackaged stuff can also be like a bait. Hey, you mean the Luigi player? Like even like some protein bars, for example, will have like a fuckload of sugar in them. And like, yeah, like I literally just said, Like, oh yeah, like sugar is not all like horrible for you, but I feel like usually in prepackaged stuff, like it's basically always just like never sugar from like a fruit. It's basically always just sugar from like, I guess, like high fructose corn syrup or whatever. Yeah, well, I guess I never see that in a protein bar, but like, I guess just like regular sugar is just kind of like, for you. When you're just having an excess amount of it. I've actually had like low-key too much sugar recently. I think, if I'm gonna be honest, I've had more than I should recently. Chips have also skyrocketed in price. A normal sized Dorito bag is like over $8. Yeah, and they're like half empty also. Like, we're talking like a bag like this size. It's like, oop, half full, by the way. I always hated that. I always hated that even as a kid. I was like, why? I love deceptive packaging. That's my favorite thing. Even though I never really had them very often, I'll give it to Pringles, because their packaging was like not deceptive. Like the can, that's how much you're getting. Like they fill that thing, I don't know about today, but they at least used to always fill that thing to the top. So it was like, yep, you're just getting the amount it looks like you're getting. Yeah, like even if you're like trying to like be like, oh, these chips are like don't have much whatever in them. Like it'll be for chips like, oh, a serving size for these chips is like 12 chips, and like who's gonna be out here like you open like your bag of Doritos or whatever, you pour like chips into a bowl. You're not pouring 12 chips into a bowl. You're probably getting like 30 plus. So then it's like, oops, I'm actually having like a fuck ton of just kind of like empty calories. I'm definitely fortunate to be someone who's like chill with just like yeah, like I enjoy having just like fruits and like rice. Which that's like another thing with like nutrition, like carbs. I mean, yes, there's people who like do keto. That's like a whole different thing. But like there are people who like act like eating rice is like the devil. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think so. Carbs are literally energy. Like, genuinely, I do not know how people can do keto. I do not know how people can do keto. I know some people just like, it's just like way too hard for them to do it. Like, I know Cloud, when he was on keto, like he was, I don't know, I think pretty chill with it. I don't know, it's so bizarre to me. Like I would not be able to have oatmeal. I would not be able to have rice. Like that's like half the shit I eat is oatmeal and rice. I guess the point of keto is to be like, oh, you make your body like stop shit. You make your body stop using like carbs for energy, and then it starts using fat for energy instead. But also like once you like, if you like just stop doing keto, like wouldn't your body just go back to using carbs for energy? Like I don't think it would all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, I just use fat for energy all the time now. Like, I mean, it uses some, but wouldn't it just go back to using carbs like once you stop doing keto? I do not know. I am not a knower, not a knowledgeable person on keto to a full extent. But that's just my like, that's my educated assumption as to what would happen. And I guess based on like how my understanding of most diets end up going, because my understanding of most diets end up being, unless it's like an outright lifestyle change, it ends up not being that effective in the long run. You did keto once. Did you like it, or were you like, man, this sucks? Fuck this. I'm getting off this. Like, did it feel very effective for you, or like, no? Like, especially if it's like, oh, I hate everything about this. This sucks. Like, it is super not worth doing. You got super sick, lost like 10 pounds a week and a half, then I quit and gained it all back anyways. And then you were like, I'm getting off this keto thing. I would after that. I'd be like, fuck this. No, thank you. Is this like a good enough color substitute? It needs to be more yellow, but like, I don't want to use this yellow. Do I? Do I want to use this yellow? It's like so bright. We could layer it. We could layer it, I think, and it could be fine. Yeah, and that's like, I remember like for a while, I guess it was trending, which is probably why I was on Kendall's feed on like Instagram or whatever, but she was like getting these ads, or well, videos from people that were doing this thing called a raw vegan diet. And like they would literally be out here with like, okay, for dinner tonight, I'm having like 8 potatoes and half a watermelon and like 3 apples. Like that would, like, I guess like it would be like, yup, you can't like cook anything and you have to eat everything vegan. So it's like you're eating just like vegetables and fruits. And I guess that's like literally the only thing they would eat. And apparently a bunch of people who were doing that got like really sick from doing it, because crazy, they were getting basically just literally like carbs and sugar basically. And it's like, bruh, like that is crazy. Balance. It was basically like I'd have like heavy cream with a shot of espresso for breakfast / lunch and some chicken breast for dinner. Bruh. That sounds awful. I remember Cloud when he was doing keto stuff. I know he was like super in on bacon. That seems to be like broken. The OP food for keto is bacon, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I guess, yeah, not being able to cook anything. I guess that's the whole idea of the raw part of the raw vegan diet, but it's like, bruh. Oh my god, that's like, also good morning, Owl. How are you today? What was it? I think someone sent it to me recently, because I remember seeing it a few years back, or sometime recent. In recent-ish times, and then I saw it again recently. It was like some like statue of like Jesus or something somewhere in the world, and it had like water like dripping from it, and people thought it was like holy, like some holy gift or something like that. And so these people are all drinking it, and apparently at some point, I think people later got sick from it, but someone, like, I don't know if it's some like health investigator or whatever, but someone figured out that like, oh, this water is actually just leaking water from like a toilet from like an apartment above or something like that. And I guess apparently when like that guy was like, yeah, this is actually where this water is coming from, like everyone was just like all these people who were drinking this Jesus water were like just being giga weird about it. Just like, oh, you're just trying to talk bad about our lord or whatever. Just say it, like, just being really weird, just not believing that guy at all. It's like, okay, you guys are fucking morons. Like, actually insane. Wait, so did some, like, diet plan tell you to just have, like, heavy cream with espresso for breakfast? Or were you like, well, heavy cream's fat, I guess I'll have heavy cream? I don't know if you did extensive research before doing the whole keto thing. Oh, this tree's hella leaning, but you know, we like a leaner sometimes. We like a leaner, we're committing to it. Like, look at that. Bob would like that. Like, oh yeah, let it lean. It's supposed to fall over, and he'd laugh about it. Maybe we'll put a small one right down here. Still recovering from yesterday? Yeah, I hope they were appreciative of you actually being there, unlike the other people. The denial and maybe the shame to not admit to drinking that water. Yeah. I had free access to heavy cream at work and didn't want to spend money, so it seemed like a good idea to you. That's a valid point. It's like, well, it's free. That does make it seem a lot more tempting when it's free. Like, I don't even know, like, if I were to, in theory, do keto, like, what would I have? Like, I would eat, like... Oh, there's a part of my nail I need to cut. Fuck. I cut my nails, and there's, like a sharp corner. I'm like, no, I need to trim, I need to round that out. I just noticed it, frick. I'll do that after Mario Paint. Give it a quick trim. Like, I would eat eggs. And I guess meat sometimes. Oh, tofu? Hell yeah. Tofu. My goat tofu. Getting pizza slices in a bit, Pog. I hope they're fresh and good tasting today. Hate spending money. That's totally valid. I did just spend money on buying protein powder for the first time in like a couple of years. Which, coincidentally, speaking of vegan, it actually was vegan protein powder. The only reason why I specifically got the vegan protein powder from this place is just because it was cheaper. It was literally cheaper for the same amount. And I'm like, well, I might as well just get the... I might as well try the vegan version because it's cheaper, so why not? So I got 2 kilograms of unsweetened, unflavored, and then I got 1 kilogram of chocolate. Both vegan. Which it had a mixture of pea protein, brown rice protein, and hemp protein. So I'm like, okay, I mean, that seems like that should be pretty good. So we'll see how it goes. Whenever it gets here, probably within like a week or something, hopefully. Need to get a new phone. Every time I put it in a cart to order, I cringe at the price and close the tab. You should maybe see if you can find one on like Craigslist or if there's other equivalents in America. But if you can find like a local, like a used one that's like in good condition. Actually, literally, I think the last time I have bought a brand new phone was when I got my Pixel 1, when my phone broke when you were up here in like 2017, and I went to Best Buy and bought my Pixel 1. It was probably not the best decision because it was like $1K to get that fucking thing outright, like no contract. Meanwhile, like in 2019 when I got my Pixel 3A, when I bought that off Kijiji, off for someone used, it was like 300. I'm like, well, shit. Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't know if you've looked into that. Or hell, even maybe eBay. But I feel like I've never bought a used phone off eBay. Actually, Skittle actually bought their most recent phone off Amazon. Because I forget why they actually bought a new phone. I don't know if it was the battery was dying or something. I forget specifically what the reason was. But yeah, so Amazon can also be potentially an option to get like a refurbished phone. I think the one Skittle ended up getting was refurbished, question mark. I know Skittle bought like a Pixel 9, I think, and then didn't like how small it was, so like returned that one and got like a Pixel 9 Pro. And I think the 9 Pro one was like $30 more or something. It was something like that. I remember the back market ads on Twitch a few years ago that also had a secondhand phone store. I do not remember this at all. Maybe it was an American thing, question mark. I don't know if this. Your brother recommended a site called Swappa for getting a phone, but the phone you're looking at is like 700 used. Damn. Yeah, phones be expensive. I hate how expensive phones are. Especially when they like do the same thing. You know, phones are so not exciting anymore. I hate it. Remember when like phones were cool and exciting to have? Not me biting my nail that I said I needed trim. Let's see, how's it looking on OBS? It's looking not too. It's gonna come together once this big ass tree gets put in. It's gonna all come together, baby. Don't you worry. It's gonna all be just vibes from there. Check it. Well, I should probably do the grass part on it first. Oh my fucking god. Good morning. Hey, Brack. You're tired, kill me. If it helps, I woke up at like 6:30 a.m. and then I don't think I ever actually fell back asleep properly, but I kind of laid there for like an hour and a bit. And then I got up eventually. And here we are. I went live at like 11:30. I haven't went live at pre-noon in so long. Genuinely don't know how long it's been since I went live before noon. It's been so long. Oh, also, this is your reminder for anybody who hasn't done this to click on your profile picture in the top right of Twitch and click that settings button, and then click on security and privacy and scroll all the way down to the bottom and uncheck that dumbass training for generative AI button. In case anyone hasn't done that, you need to do that shit. And if you're on mobile, I don't know how you get there, so good luck. Yeah, if anyone isn't aware, that's the newest and greatest thing that apparently Amazon probably just forced Twitch to do. God, there was a whole really awkward like stream from some like higher up at Twitch who I guess was like it was like Twitch patch notes or something they literally called it, and they were just talking about like changes to Twitch, and that of course got brought up. And the guy was, I don't remember the guy's name, but he was just like, Like, okay, and why isn't this opt-in? That's the question. Like, because I guess like they were just outright streaming it, and they had Twitch chat up, and they were like looking at Twitch chat actively, and everyone in chat was just like, why isn't this opt-in instead of it's opt-out by default? So you're by default opted in, and he outright said, oh, well, if it was opt-in, no one would opt in. And apparently everyone in chat at that point was like, yeah, then don't fucking add it to the site, because clearly no one wants it. And there was like, I forget her name, but there was some girl, and she is, I forget her name, but she looked very just disappointed, and she was like something like the head of community, something like that. I forget her like what she specifically does, but I know she like later, like apparently her and like a lot of like actual Twitch staff are just like very against all this Gen AI nonsense on Twitch. I did see some like Blue Sky post that was like showing like chat messages from her just outright like saying that and like being against it. So it seems to be that's more like a probably an Amazon thing, like forcing it onto Twitch instead of Twitch themselves being like, oh, we should do this. So I hope that I mean I don't know if that guy had any part in adding it to Twitch, but if that guy did, fuck that guy, and I hope he got a lot of shit given. And if that guy was just someone who had to be the messenger, then that's unfortunate. Either way, I hope that gets removed. I mean, ideally, with there being a shit ton of like mass like opt-outs, hopefully that gives Amazon / Twitch higher ups like some like insight, like, hey, people clearly don't like this. It's like so insane. It's like we are like, I don't know. I mean, y'all know how I feel about this Gen AI nonsense, but like, it's insane any company is still adding it. Like, just given like all the shit and like all the bad stuff it causes, and it doesn't really do anything good, and all the hate that it gets online, like from people. Like, people do not like it. Like, your average person online does not like AI. All this Gen AI nonsense. So it's insane that any company is still out here like actively like trying to add it to their website. Like, you're just actively shooting yourself in the foot by trying to do that. And it's like, you know, I would like Twitch to just try to be a better platform and just keep trying to be good, because that, you know, I don't want to be out here just being like, okay, I am not streaming on Twitch anymore until this gets removed, because it's like, can you imagine getting people to watch on another website? Like, it's just like fucked. AI constantly shoved down our throats. I know. It's gonna pop though. And it'll be a joyous day when that happens. It's only a matter of time. I don't know. It seems like slowly, I think things are... well, I think it'll get there sooner than later. That's my hopeful thought. That's my hopeful thought. Yeah, deadass. Make that a national holiday. The day generative AI perish and all these tech loser idiots get shoved into a locker. And then that locker gets sent down to see the Titanic. At this point, it just sucks to think, like, what kind of bullshit would they try and pull, like, after this, like, whenever this fad goes away? I suppose I should actually get back to work, plus your phone is dying. Dude, watching videos or, like, streams on your phone is, like, that kills the battery, but that's valid. I hope the rest of the work goes good. Thanks for hanging, though. Let them file for bankruptcy first. I do wish any pro AI company a happy go bankrupt and die. Like, for any big company these days, like, still trying to get in on it, it's like, you're just part of the problem. You are part of the problem. Like, you can't give them, like, a benefit of the doubt anymore. Like, at least, like, earlier on, it's just like, okay, yeah, like, people, like, may have not, like, really been aware of, like, the world issues it would cause. Like, hell, I remember, like, pretty early on, Clip Studio Paint, the art program that I use, still. Like, early on, they were trying to add to, like, some Gen AI feature to the program, and then, like, a fuck ton of artists and people who, like, use the program were like, no, we do not want this, and they thankfully did actually retract that fully. Like, I'm pretty sure it just completely doesn't exist at all anymore in the software, so it was good on them for, like, actually listening. Instead of being like, no, we're gonna force this on you because our shareholders want this. Or some bullshit answer. Also, it feels good that setting wasn't hard to disable on mobile. I just feel like doing anything on mobile Twitch is just like a pain in the ass. God forbid you try and make a clip on mobile Twitch. It like actively doesn't work unless they've fixed it in recent times. It's been a while since I've tried, to be fair, but anytime I've ever tried, it just doesn't work. You know, phones can do all these like crazy things these days, but you still can't like watch Twitch on mobile without it being ass half the time. Like, I'll still have the thing where like an ad will play and then it'll like will freeze the stream and like crash the app sometimes. And then you get back in, it's like, oh, you have to watch the ad again. Or sometimes like an ad will play on mobile and then like it'll finish and then the stream will go back on and then another ad will play instantly. And it's like, bruh, an ad just fucking played, dude. Like, what do you want from me? Actually, another. Well, thankfully, this was the thing that actually did get retracted. But I remember like a year ago or so, Twitch tried putting out this thing saying that like, hey, we're not allowing like streamers and whatever to use baked-in ads for their streams, which is what a lot of like, I know like a lot of like big like, you know, big Smash tourneys and majors, like they use like baked in ads from like their sponsors to help, you know, make their events happen. Which thankfully that got retracted pretty quickly. I think they got a fuck ton of backlash for that one. Like, I don't know how that like specifically would have worked. Like, could you even like, if that had went through, like, could you have not even like had like a HelloFresh sponsor or something like that? Like, would that be like against their TOS had that like stayed in? I don't fully know like how that all would have worked, but I just know it's like pretty common for like these big Smash tourneys, and I assume other fighting game events where like they'll like in between sets be like, oh yeah, by the way, shout out to our sponsors like Zenny Optical, blah 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 blah, this thing, 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 etc. etc. Which I found out recently from some recent Smash Major that I was watching at some point in the past few weeks, that allegedly like I know Zenny's out here sponsoring like every Smash Major, which is pretty cool of them. But apparently that like one of the commentators, like probably Prax buddy Vish, I remember one of them saying outright like, yeah, like Zenny just outright asked us like, oh yeah, do you guys want like a free pair? Like, damn, they're just like offering free glasses to the commentators, like if they want them or not, or if they decide they want a pair. Which makes sense, like, you know, you see the commentators wearing them. But it's like, damn, feels good. It's pretty hype that it's not just like, oh yeah, here's like a pair that you can wear for like the stream and that's it. I think the only tragedy about my pair that I have, which is from Zenny, is like you don't get the option of like getting your glasses fitted properly, and you can't try them on in advance, so like you don't know how they're gonna fully like feel and look on you. But I think it's still a pretty good service. I don't know, I've had so many like different like periods of time where I'm like, my glasses are kind of chilling on my face, and other times like, God, they just feel so like uncomfortable on my face. And it's like, in theory, it's like you can go to like just an optometrist and get your glasses fitted there, but they've outright told me, at least, like, yep, since you didn't buy your glasses from us, if we break your glasses, we're not responsible at all, since you didn't buy your glasses from us. And it's like, maybe I should have just went anyways at some point, because it's unlikely I feel like they would have actually broke my glasses, but I'm like, that doesn't give me good like faith in wanting to even go if you're like expecting, like, are you expecting to break my glasses from just adjusting them? Is that what you're expecting to have happen? So I was like, I'll just try and adjust them myself, which that probably would have been easier in the long run if I had went to an optometrist and had them doing it. But it's like, man, like, that would just be such a bitch to have to deal with that if they broke my glasses. That'd be awful. Actual, just terrible scenario to be in. Nothing good about that. Are we done with this painting? Is this painting done? I might be done with it. I was kind of like going like ham on the talking at the end there, but I think on the note of optometrists hopefully not breaking my glasses, I'm gonna call this a finished painting, especially since we are at the hour and 24-minute mark. So I think it'll be a good time to call it there. So thanks for watching. Shouts to any VOD watchers if they get this far. And we will see you next week for another painting. So, bye-bye.